Alright, here we go. This is a custom 1v1 on Duel between the red player in the upper left-hand corner, GregTheMecha, in the the Black Ops striker, not the Tomcat striker, and his opponents in the bottom right-hand corner, Sanguinius13 in the classic Helix in that carbon color. I am going with orange as my carbon color name, just because the bulbs are orange, the mini-map dots are orange, and it's just it'll just cause less confusion overall. I think GregTheMecha setting a couple zippers on patrol for defense. Pretty standard loadout from Sanguinius. Fixer for the heal. You know, he has Berthas, he has Goliaths, he has low-level artillery, he has a main tank unit, he has moneymakers, anti-air in that Seeker, and he does have that light attacking / defending unit for neutralization or infantry defense in that Jackal. But Greg with a slightly off loadout with jammers for that the artillery defense, and with busters, that new unit that has slow rotation. Not actually slow rotation, but it doesn't actually have a turret to rotate, so the entire unit itself has to rotate to attack. And Greg with a little bit of a RAS here, going straight for a moneymaker, and Sanguinius with nothing in his queue to actually, effectively deal with this. Just Longhorn. There are no Jackals out on the field yet to defend, and there are no Seekers in his queue quite yet. He actually, okay, yeah, he is canceling them out for Seekers, so he will be able to force GregTheMecha out of here. Greg just switching up his attack from the moneymaker to the outpost, so I don't really think that's really effective of his time. But he actually is bringing zippers over here. Will go obviously for a neutralization attempt. Sanguinius with 3 jetpack cats following him. Wow, in that carbon color, so that is pretty interesting. Will actually kill these zippers. No, okay, now finally dropping these Longhorns, so those will probably be able to continue and finish off those zippers. He's actually bringing more, but now Sanguinius with creeps from his fort, so we'll be able to relight those bulbs, so these zippers are going to be shut down now. Greg is running away. It doesn't have, just has probes. I don't know if he's going to come back with those probes. Actually, will come back with those probes. That is very interesting. Sanguinius dropping defensive Jackals up here, fully bunkered outpost here, and a single artillery going down, but Greg with probes not going to be able to get that moneymaker. Sanguinius does come back, but in that faster striker will be able to run away very, very easy. And Sanguinius with just creeps here. Okay, now setting up another artillery. It's going to be sort of an artillery-heavy fight, I am imagining. Now Greg doing quick scout. He has a bunch of Dillos lined up over here, and I'm assuming that is going to be the kind of almost getting finished up before he gets back to his factory. But I would assume that this line of Dillos is kind of for that strategy where and now trying to hide a jammer and a Dillo. Not seen by Sanguinius quite. I mean, it's on his mini-map. So I don't know why. Okay, now definitely gets caught. Does have just that jammer and the Dillo. They're not really going to be able to hide it the way that he hoped he would. Duel actually a really good map just because it has this extra weird lane here to hide some stuff. But if you get caught by the opponent, usually you can sneak by because the fight is usually like somewhere here between the mid and the forward. But just because Sanguinius was at it close, he was able to spot Greg trying to sneak by there, and Greg was not actually able to station any hidden units. Now dropping a fixer for that salvage. I've actually recently started to use fixers more and more. It's super awesome for salvage and heal at the same time. They move with your units, just so great. I really do highly recommend, if you haven't really used fixers too much before, use them. They are pretty awesome. But yeah, I would. But Greg now not doing what I thought he was going to do. Actually able to finish off Sanguinius in that dogfight. Not necessarily dogfight, but Sanguinius was kind of trying to get away, but Greg was actually able to catch him in the air, and now starting to move his Dillos out. I thought he was going to just wait for Sanguinius to clear a lot of the units at mid and then start to push out really, really quickly, but now starting to push out his Dillos. He did initially leapfrog them over and trying to wait for that Jackal to be finished off, but no, I think one of his probes did get killed. Now dropping them, probably will be able to take this mid. Sanguinius coming back with a couple Jackals, probably going to go for a neutralization. I don't know, actually he has to abandon them and drop them over here. I don't know what he's trying to get at. I'm not sure if he's trying to just start a clump of units over there, but no, okay, he is retreating his Jackals, almost getting killed there. GregTheMecha doing a quick hover, but Sanguinius is going to be able to get back. GregTheMecha does not continue that pin down, but more and more Dillos coming out from GregTheMecha, and Sanguinius is forced to deal with this one here that was sent to his outpost. And he has very, very firm control of mid right now. There are 2 artillery firing in for Sanguinius, and I'm not. Oh, he is starting to stack his creeps. He is planning to go with a not necessarily heavy push, but probably a fairly substantial push. Though once those creeps, hit this middle area, or start to get close. Oh, but actually a couple random Dillos were sent a little bit forward, so Sanguinius will have to deal with that as well. And these creeps are not going to be used to the way that Sanguinius wanted to. Forced to drop these Jackals in blocking position. Now Greg will have these jammers here. Are only going to have splash damage at, I think, medium damage and half the DPS. I'm not exactly sure. The stuff kept changing, so don't take my word for it exactly, but I know it's half the DPS. I think that is not necessarily due to the damage type, but I think it is due just because splash damage for the jammer is at half the DPS. For half the damage. And now Sanguinius is trying to leapfrog some stuff up, trying to push in from both sides. Longhorn coming from the top, and Sanguinius moving his own stuff from the bottom, stationing artillery, microing a tank back beautifully to keep it alive. One has gone down there in the front, but he is not exactly overwhelming Greg the way that you kind of would in this that you would want to in this type of push. And Greg actually dealing with him very well, but getting smashed by Sanguinius' missiles and that Seeker, but the Sanguinius was not able to finish off Greg there. I would have probably tried to get that kill, if it were my decision, I would have wanted to see him, focused on that kill on Greg, because that absence from the field really would have, greatly benefited him. But Sanguinius now landing in front of a bunch of Seekers, gets finished off there on the floor, and I don't think he's spending any money on respawn. And in the meantime, Greg is using this time, when your enemy is dead, start to push out. Now Sanguinius won't have time to prepare for this. He probably doesn't actually see this because he died right around here, so holding spacebar won't give him that extra information. He probably will, this factory will probably be neutralized, repositioning all of his artillery, bringing what he can back to the fight, but this has been neutralized already. There are so many red units in this area. Greg, with an overwhelming number of zippers and Dillos, it's just way too much for him. Now queuing up some infantry, and probably will be able to get this neutralized. Actually picked up runners that spawn from those zippers, I think, and will actually be able to get this under his control. There's a large clump of units over here, but it's mostly, okay, they are going to be pretty much taken down, and Greg, with outpost support here, will be able to actually finish off the rest of his units. Sanguinius desperately trying to bring more units over, but not enough. There is artillery firing at Greg's units right now, and he has been able to bring them away from that, away from those tanks' attack range. And now has a couple has Jackals. Doesn't go out with him quite yet. Okay, now is gonna go out with him. I would assume he set these on capture, so they are gonna split. A couple of them are gonna go for here, but Greg back and forth. He has a lot of units in this area, a lot of units to draw fire, and now randomly dropping a jammer right here in front of a bunch of Longhorn, which will go down pretty much immediately. Dealing with a one stray infantry, but Sanguinius has actually been able to neutralize this middle outpost away from Greg. Greg has been able to grab the forward. Now has a single buster going for the front door. There is nothing defending over here, so Greg is just going to be able to freely fire over here. Now Sanguinius is forced to come back with that buster doing so much damage, trying to drop some Jackals in blocking position, but now Sanguinius is going to be able to freely fire. Oh, almost chasing back Greg. Is he going to be able to finish him off? No, he will. Because that striker so much faster than that Helix, and Sanguinius quite frustrated right now, but has those Jackals at his fort. But these zippers, zippers such a good cheap way to distract your opponent, to force him in different areas, and Sanguinius not able to bring enough creeps to take mid quite yet, almost getting finished off before he gets back to that outpost. Oh my god, that was really, really close. But Greg with a little bit of misfire and a little bit of misaim, not able to actually take it. These zippers finishing off all of those infantry, all those creeps coming up, but now has some not enough. Obviously, there's only 3, and this one Dillo over here will start to knock down bulbs. Oh, wait, where did that 4th one come from? That was really confusing. I guess he had 4 in queue, and I'm just kind of tripping right now. But now trying to defend what he can. Oh, going straight for the kill. Now Greg with a buster going straight for the front door once again, but there is these Jackals here to defend, but Sanguinius is not actually able to respond. Now Greg is coming back to respond to this attack. Has a buster and a Dillo, but there is nothing on his front door. Sanguinius is going to be able to ferry a bunch of stuff, but there is nothing contesting this buster here except for these Jackals, which will probably, it will eventually kill it because the buster is prioritizing on that fort. But right now, great blockage off with busters from Sanguinius, from Greg. Now Sanguinius has a lot of units, attacking these busters from the side, from the back. Oh no, Sanguinius almost killed, so he is forced to hide behind his tanks, but Greg able to lift off and get him finished off in the air, and now these busters will effectively finish off these Longhorn. Now Sanguinius, and Sanguinius has left the game. So this game has gone, and Greg calling out the GG after Sanguinius has left, and so now this will be a quick finish from GregTheMecha with 2 busters in his cargo will just go straight for the front door. I doubt the AI will be able to defend this properly. There are only jackals over here, so now it is just a little bit of time until Sanguinius, until the carbon fort will be finished off here. And GregTheMecha with more busters obviously will be able to get this finished off. I doubt that the AI will be able to defend this properly whatsoever. But yeah, that great mid grab from Greg, and he continually, put the pressure on Sanguinius, used that kill to his advantage to be able to grab that forward outpost. And Sanguinius, Sanguinius' units were kind of out of position to begin with, and now GregTheMecha just sending everything he has on attack, busters, dillos, and everything like that. So yeah, Sanguinius was sort of moving out while he got killed, and GregTheMecha, realizing that, actually was able to start his push toward that fort and actually grab control of it, and was able to secure it very well, especially because of all the surrounding units he used to take it in the first place. And now this will be the end of the game. Greg firing into the front door. Yeah, and this victory does go to the red side. GregTheMecha does take this custom 1v1 over Sanguinius13 on Duel. If you have any games that you would like to share with me, or the world for that matter, send them in to me, ruy0x@gmail.com, or ruy on Steam. You can also Carbon Forum or YouTube message me as well. And I do have a bunch of links in my video description. Please follow me on Twitter. I do need more followers. I'm extremely horrible at marketing myself, so please hit my, click on my Twitter link and hit that follow button if you can. This is RUI, and that is game. See you next time.